Guys, we're starting in 3 minutes. Get your water, get your popcorn. We got Cyrus from the Guru Gauntlet, one of the only gurus that actually managed to pass an incredibly high win rate. He's proved himself as a successful guru. We're going to have some questions. One of those questions guys. Today, we're without camera, but that's perfectly fine because all we need to do is hear and learn from Cyrus to quickly introduce him, and then I'll let him take a little bit and introduce himself even further. We brought him on because I have been running a Guru Gauntlet under Maven, and the Guru Gauntlet is a skill based challenge. It's just simply a challenge on Maven, and we give them to gurus in order to prove that they are profitable traders. Okay, and then I reveal to the audience, I reveal to the community, hey, did they actually make money? How well did they trade? Did they blow it in a day? You know what I mean? And if a trader takes 100 trades in a week and then blows the account in a week, well, I can pretty clearly say that this trader might not be the best trader for you to learn from, okay? And a lot of gurus, they like to push affiliate sales, or they'll push a course or signal, something like this. And this is the whole point of the Guru Gauntlet, is so that we can identify which gurus are good, which gurus are bad, okay? So Cyrus is the best performing guru that we've had on the Gauntlet so far. A 90% win rate on his challenges. He passed both phase 1 and phase 2 within 1 month. And he is now a funded Maven trader. Nearly no losses. And we need to learn from you, Cyrus. And I just called you my cat's name. So go ahead and introduce yourself. Oh, wait. Okay. Go ahead and introduce yourself and where you learned, how long you've been trading and whatnot.
Can you guys hear me? I can't hear you, Hunter.
Say again?
Okay. Okay. Okay, I think I can hear you now.
Okay. Okay. You hear me all right?
No, I can't again. I can't.
Oh, James,
We can hear
try this.
you.
I can hear you, James, but I can't hear Hunter.
Check.
Ah,
Check. Okay, interesting. James, you might have to tell him what to do.
yeah. Oh, jeez. Well, so you can hear me, but you can't hear Hunter. That's interesting. Hunter,
Yeah,
I can hear you.
I can see my microphone going.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. I think I'll leave and join back. Let me leave and join back.
Okay. Okay. While we're gonna wait for him to come back, I'm gonna just remove him here. Okay. Hopefully he comes back nice and quick. Let's quickly
What was he
discuss.
trading basically as well? We can speak about other things.
I believe he was trading gold.
Okay,
And
sick.
what's
Nice.
interesting is gold was, more or less not doing a whole lot, if I recall.
Yeah, it was coming. It was going back and forth as well, like
You
just
again.
up and down.
Check.
Let's have a look.
Cyrus, are you good?
Yeah, I am now.
Okay, perfect. Okay, guys, thanks for listening along with that. Cool. Cyrus, I was just introducing you and saying that you are the best trader that we've had on the Guru Gauntlet so far. And I would like to get you to introduce yourself now.
Okay, so good day everyone. I'm Cyrus, the creator. I've been in the prop firm industry for quite a while, about 4 years now, and I have been in the trading space for 6 years, since 2020, and I'm not just a trader, I'm also a tutor, having taught over 100k students globally, right? And I do have like a working strategy that I work with, which has passed various prop firms, and yeah, one of them also is the Maven Guru Gauntlet.
Okay, perfect. So I know everyone immediately is going to want to know, what is the strategy?
Okay, so my strategy is not really difficult, right? But then it works mostly with sessions. Do you understand? And also chart patterns, right? So it's more like head and shoulders, right? But then I actually find it in a kind of way that fits into my style of trading, my risk to reward, and my favorite trading session. So, based on the location I stay at, I love trading the London session, right? Because that's basically when I wake up. So,
Yeah.
whenever I get, probably, let's say, the movements that the Asians did, right? I tend to find my points of liquidity, either the low that was formed or the high that was formed, right? Then I tend to see a sweep. Right, if possible, of either of the lows or the highs. Then I try to find a point of interest around that range, and I spot either a head and shoulder or inverted head and shoulder. Basically, that. Sometimes I trade during the new year.
What time frame? What time frame you looking for these on?
So I trade the 15 minutes time frame, but then whenever I like have a long trade, let's say I'm not trading only for that day. I see a very strong trend about to happen. I use the 3 hours time frame.
3 hour time frame.
3 hours is an
3
odd
hours,
time
yes.
frame. Can you explain?
Yeah, I've never
why?
heard
It's
of that
very
one.
odd. Actually very odd, but then I think it actually gives me like the most precise, will I say precise, but it actually gives me one of the smoothest point of interest.
Okay, and And where did you find the 3 hour time frame? Because everyone uses the 4. So was this just a
Now,
random? You accidentally clicked 3 one day, and it just seemed to work better.
when I backtest, yeah, I try to check. So this is how I learn, right? So when I come across traders on X, right, and I want to like know how did this guy catch this particular trade, I tend to
Mhm.
save trade setups, right, and I tend to use it to backtest. So there was this time where I was trying to backtest, and I was trying to find the exact time frame this guy used to actually spot that particular candle that caused the move or that particular point of interest. And I kind of found out that he doesn't trade the common time frames. We all know the common time frames are 4 hours, 1 hour, 15 minutes, right? But I think he trades 45 minutes and 3 hours. And I tend to like backtested with these time frames. And I spotted this point of interest. And I used this time frame, that is the 3 hour time frame, to actually backtest for a long period of time. And I noticed that there's actually a good win rate with this 3 hours time frame. So I and TradingView happens to have that option where you can search for any kind of time frame, even the 5 hours time frame. So I had to just search for the 3 hours time frame and favorite it. And ever since then, I've been using the 3 hours time frame. I use the 4 hours time frame, but then the 3 hours time frame actually gives me a good point of interest.
I've never heard of that before. Hunter, have you heard of the 3 hour time frame? I mean, yes, I've heard of the 2 hour.
I've done 2, and I've seen people using the 45, and I always
Yeah.
thought it was kind of just like people wanting to like the 2 hour
Because,
makes sense to me because
yeah.
it's you don't want to wait for the 4 hour if it's an intraday trade. But the 3 hour is really odd to me. The 45 also, I think it's just somebody trying to be fancy.
Sure.
But it makes sense in the fact that it's 3 15-minute candles, I suppose.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have a
And
question.
are you only Cyrus, are you only trading gold?
Gold actually has. I trade BTC also, and I
Okay.
think one of the pairs I'm adapting to is UK 100.
Oh, nice.
So
Yeah.
um BTC, gold, and UK 100, but majorly gold. Like if I was to take 10 trades, 6 to 7 is going to be gold.
Sure. Nice.
Okay, and I noticed looking at your trade data, it looks like you DCA'd a little bit. Like you weren't doing martingale, but it looked like you would enter a couple times into the trade. Is this correct?
Yes, actually, because I do have like a bias, a trend bias where I tend to know that okay, this market is going into this particular direction, and I know for sure it's going to this direction. So I, if I want to enter, um, let's say 4 lots, or let's just say 1 lot on a particular setup, right? I tend to
Mhm.
start with probably let's say 0.2, right? I basically don't put my whole lot into one position. So that's it.
Okay, and then where would you scale in? Would you just do every level down, or is it just kind of random, or do you look for reversals?
Reversals, not really random reversals.
Okay, so every time it looks like it might reverse back up into the trend, you enter another position?
Yes, as long as it doesn't hit my invalidation zone.
Okay, and then what would that invalidation zone be? How do you find it?
I have I have a level where I set on my trading view, right? Where if the market is approaching that level and I have a maximum risk I am willing to allocate for that day. Do you understand? So if the market
Mhm.
hits that maximum risk and that particular point of interest, I tend to close out
Sure.
from
And
that particular
are you
trade.
only looking at technicals as well, Cyrus? Or are you looking at any fundamentals as well for gold or anything like that?
I do look at fundamentals, right? Um, especially during high impact news days, I do look at fundamentals, and I tend to also have I tend to also check out the other pairs like BTC, the DXY currency, and the rest like
Sure.
that. And I tend to like um the movements that happen with those pairs. Do you understand? And I tend to use it to determine will the outcome also be in play on gold. Do you understand? So I don't only major on technicals. I also respect the fundamentals.
Mhm. Okay, interesting. So I've got a question from the audience here. It's asking about reverse engineering. Um, First of all, how, like you said, you look at traders on X and you try to figure out what they make. So you're reverse engineering their trades without them telling you. How do you do that?
So this is it, yeah, right? I am someone who I love to learn. Do you understand? And I just want to understand how certain traders' perspectives are. Do you understand? So let's say if I see a particular trader on X, for example, who has a very good win rate on his trades, I tend to want to know how does this guy get his trades? How does this guy sometimes where I lose in the market, I tend to want to know, okay, what did I do wrong? What is my correction? It's just like going to school where you get given an assignment and you come back the next day with the assignment being done and your teacher tells you that okay you failed at this point, you failed at this point. So that is what I tend to do for myself, right? I always want to know why did I lose, why did I fail today.
Mhm.
And certain traders who I see their trades, who plays the same trades that I did, and they won those trades. I want to know, okay, even if I don't reach out to them directly, I would love to say, okay, I want to understand how you passed or how you won this trade for today. How did gold make you profit and gold made me loss? So I tend to save their before and after setups. I tend to see, okay, when I'm in my free time, I take those images and I backtest them, right? Okay,
Mhm.
so I did this wrong. This was what this person saw that made him win this trade. This was what I ignored that made me lose this trade.
Cool. And would you recommend that over just asking the mentor directly and learning from them?
So, if I was going to do direct approach, right, I was going to reach out to lots of persons. Do you understand? So,
Mhm.
I won't say it is wrong to directly approach these people, but then there are certain times where you just want one information. You just want one line of information to just tell you that okay, this was what you did wrong and nothing else. Do you understand? So you can use it to improve yourself. So most times you don't really need that direct tutoring from these people. Their footprint is already on their charts. Their handwriting is already on their chart. So
Mhm.
instead of like directly approaching them, you can actually just pick these things from their charts and see how they trade. But then you can also approach them directly, right? I'm not diminishing that fact, but then there are certain times where certain people who you really can't approach, you will see their handwriting on their charts and their setups, so you can
Mhm.
actually learn from them. Yeah.
This
Sure.
is this is really good advice, actually. This is somewhat what I've done from really good traders. Just look at the trades they post. They don't say anything. They don't teach anything. These are the best guys, right? Because you know they're making money because that's just all what they're doing, right? And you have to decipher what they're saying. And it's really difficult. So
Yeah, actually.
how long do you think that took you to find kind of the edge you have now? And what sort of sources did you look at? Like who did you look at?
So directly, yeah, I got taught by lots of traders, right? So one thing newbies failed to understand, and it actually delayed my profitability was I I was combining every single thing I could come across, and one thing I have noticed, and this is like a habit, or this is like a culture for people who are profitable, is they do the simplest things. They don't complicate what works for them. They don't combine every single thing that they know. They just find something simple that can be repeated and they stick to it. But when I was starting off here, it was difficult to make profits because I was combining so many things, and I was thinking the more knowledge, the more profitability. Knowledge is actually good, but then at some point you have to level down to the most simplest representation of something that works on the chart and stick to it. Do you understand? So
Hmm.
I am going to like give a big shout out to every single person I learned from because they actually gave me the um the origin of the setup or the strategy that I use at the moment, right? But then the click that I had when I was starting off was leveling down to the most basic things that you think it is so basic, but it's actually the best. It's actually what works. You understand? So, I did learn from quite a lot of traders, quite a lot, right? Because I was finding that edge, but I realized that there's no really a perfect edge, right? You have to just be the one to stick to what works for you over time and stick to profitability. If there was 100% win rate, everybody will be billionaires on in this market. But as long as we are still finding our edge and sticking to what works for us, gives us profits, then that's just it. The days you make losses, you move on to the next. The days you make losses, you move on to the next. But as long as you have something that gives you a good win rate and you stick to it and it repeats itself, that is it. That is all. Did I answer the question?
What what do you think of gold at the moment, where we're sitting at right now? Because I know the Hunter said that when you were trading the Gauntlet, that it was moving quite up and down quite a lot. But what do you think of gold right now, where we're sitting at the moment?
What do I think of gold?
Yes.
Hmm.
Okay, so I had a at 4061 that got triggered. I also had a buy to sell. So I had a gold setup that got triggered this new year, and it triggered, and I think it's currently giving me 1 to 2 or 1 to 3 rather, right? So I am looking at gold below 4,000 because um the market overall is bearish, right? We are just seeing intraday bullishness and all, but overall, I still want to see gold below 4,000, and I know for sure it's still going to hit it, but we still should not ignore the point of interest um
Hmm.
it is respecting, right? So there's a point of interest that I think there's an order block at I think at 4,000 4,000. Oh, sorry, 3,980. Right? There's another block at 3,980 that's actually printed last year. Right? So it is currently respecting it, and it's a strong order block because it showed itself at the weekly time frame and also at the daily time frame. But then, as long as that order block holds, then we can still see gold range from 3,900 to 4,150 within that range. But I still want to see gold at below 4,000 again. Um, and I still have another sell entry at 4,150 on gold.
For
So yeah,
150 to go to the short side, of course, right?
but overall, yeah, exactly. But I still want to
Mhm.
see where the monthly candle closes.
Interesting. Yeah. It's interesting to me. So I'm currently in the view on gold that if this level doesn't hold, we're going all the way back down to 35 and below, right? So you're looking at potentially losing the 4,000 level and going really low, or are you looking at something different?
So I'm still looking at this. Um, so I'm opening my chart to confirm the prices. So can you guys still hear me clearly?
Hmm.
Okay. So I still want to see the sweep of liquidity at 3,900, right? Because overall gold has been
Yeah.
bearish and it swept the liquidity at 4,100. It swept the same liquidity, another liquidity at 4,025. So we might see a respect of this 1 day candle, which formed at Wednesday 25th of November. Oh, sorry, Wednesday 5th of November 2025, right? And it might gold is going to rally back to the 4,100 region for a strong push lower to the
Mhm.
3,988 region. So if this daily candle closes, I need to see the daily candle close bullishly. If it closes bullishly, then we will see a rally back. We have a little fair value gap at around 4,095, 4,130, around that range. There's a little fair value gap at that range, right? So I need to see the sweep of a tap into the fair value gap and the sweep of liquidity at 4,095, right? Now, once I see a bullish strength on the daily time frame after today closes, the market is likely to rally back to the 4,120 region, and a strong sell
Okay.
should push the market below the 3,900, right? So I use the correlation between gold and BTC at the moment because I noticed there's a slight similarity between them, right? I'm expecting BTC to trade below 57K, 55K coming days, right? Because the 4 hour candle, the 4 hour breakout structure happened 2 hours ago, right? So I know for sure that a retracement back to the 60K region is going to drive price lower. So once BTC goes lower, there's a high tendency gold is also going lower,
Okay.
right? So
Interesting.
basically, yeah.
Now it's interesting you're trading gold though, right? And you're using Bitcoin as confluence,
Yeah.
or just a secondary trade.
That's a secondary trade.
Okay. Yeah, because Bitcoin's volume is so small compared to gold that I would find it hard to believe that somebody could use it as confluence for their gold trades.
Not really, not really. It's not really my confluence for the. I just tend to like see similarities in their movement at the moment because um liquidity is actually driving out of the crypto market, right? And it needs a strong point of interest to accumulate more liquidity to push it higher. Do you understand? And also,
Mhm.
gold has been on a downtrend right from when it tapped 5K. Do you understand? So I'm not really using them as confluence. I'm just seeing similarities in their movement.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, good. I jotted down a couple questions here I saw from the audience, James.
Yeah.
Let's let's ask them. So these are just kind of more fun ones, I think. What sort of beliefs do you think people hold today that will be completely wrong in 10 years regarding trading?
Um, what sort of belief do people hold today that will be wrong in 10 years?
Yeah. What do you think's changing in the market? What do you think's
So,
not going to be popular anymore?
so, first and foremost, yeah, I do have a perception that people tend to think flipping their way into um a solid capital is something they can do, right? But even though this market is a market that favors the 5% out of the 100% that comes in, people would think they flip into profit or flip into a large sum of profit. It is still the 5% out of the 5%. So let me break it down, right? There's this trend on Twitter where people come out, they front $10 and they flip it to like 1K. They repeat, they repeat, they repeat. I am in so much belief that you could actually direct this energy into prop firms and level up from there rather than thinking you can flip your way into so much capital. Do you
Mhm.
understand? So that is one. That is one that I believe that not even in the next 10 years, in the next 3 to 5 years, right? people will no longer be posting those flips any longer. People will start posting their prop firm certificates that they bought with the prop firms that they bought with probably, let's say, $100, and they make a payout of 1K. They repeat, and so on and so forth. Do you understand? Then, um, secondly, secondly, I do believe, right, that a lot of people are going to automate their strategies. Do you understand? A lot of people are going to automate their strategies. It is not really something that is common now, even though a lot of people do it, but it's not as common as it is, as we think it is.
Hmm.
So in the next 5 to 10 years, a lot of people are going to automate their strategies where probably trading view indicators, people who are going to be building their own personal trading view indicators, they are going to code it with Pine scripts, they are going
Hmm.
to implement it on the trading view, and they don't really need to do the whole come up, draw your lines, draw your boxes, and analyze. They just wait for the indicator to just show them a setup or a signal, and boom, they just enter. So lots of automation are going to be coming years, next 3, 5, 10 years. We'll see more of people who they just need 3 months of knowledge, and they find something that works, they find a strategy that works or has been proven that it works, and they just automate it, and boom, that's it.
Yeah, you think everyone's going to be using Claude to program their scripts?
Yeah.
High tendency.
Yeah.
There's a high
Do you, could you code your strategy? What you do?
You said what?
Could you code your strategy, or have you started to code your strategy in what you do with AI?
So I won't say I've started coding my strategy, right? What I've done is basically um just have an indicator that shows me inverted head and shoulder. Basically that. Do you understand? That just shows me that pattern in the 4 hours time frame, or in the 3 hours time frame, or in the 1 hour time frame. That's just it. But then I believe that there are certain times where no matter how smart or brilliant you are with automation and the rest like that, the market is still controlled by people. It is still controlled by human psychology. It's still controlled by lots of things that actually sometimes it will definitely go against automation, and it will just mess up some automations up, right? Like some volatility moves, some new spikes, and the rest like that. So you really cannot rely on automation 100%. Do you understand? But what I just do is I just set up an indicator that just shows me a chart pattern. Basically, that when I see the chart pattern, I now lower down to my confirmation entries and my session, and that is it. So for 100% using my strategy coded, right? I have not done that.
Sure.
Okay. And then another question somebody had was, do you recommend having multiple strategies, or is it better just to stick to one?
No, no, no. Just stick to one,
Yeah.
right? Now, I want to say something about this question again, right? Now, I am someone who has traded the crypto markets. I was actively a crypto trader as far back as 2021, 2022, right? And I realized something, right? That there are certain pairs that if you use support and resistance on those pairs, you'd make more profits than someone who uses probably smart money concept on that pair. Do you understand? I actually backtested this and I realized that it is actually true. Right? You can do it after this meeting and try to like check certain pairs. So there are certain pairs that works with certain strategies and certain patterns. If you don't understand these patterns, it will be a little bit difficult for you to actually make profits in these pairs. Do you understand? So for those kind of situation, right, I can say you can also use certain different strategies on those kind of pairs. But if you want to maintain long-term profitability, stick to a pair that you know that this pair has proven your strategy right. This pair has given you good win rates, or this your strategy has given you good win rates on this pair, and just stick to it. Do you understand? So many people complicate their strategies and pairs together that even though the strategy is like gives good win rate, the pair might still be rigid for that kind of strategy.
Mm-hmm. Okay, right on. Cool. James, do you have any more questions?
I don't, but we can look at maybe one or two more in the chat.
Yeah.
What do you want to do that? Yeah, we can do. Would you rather buy, Cyrus, would you rather buy gold or Bitcoin for the next 10 years? Because I know you said you like to trade both, right?
So, if I was going to go for the sector that if I was going to go for the sector that is going to print me money faster, I would stick to buying Bitcoin. But if I want to go for a hedge of my money and sustainability for longer term, I'll stick to gold.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. Yeah, that's what I had just said.
So let's say I have $100. Let's say I have $100. Which one do I buy?
I'm definitely buying BTC. I'm definitely buying Bitcoin.
Okay, so I think your answer completely depends on how much money you have, right? Let's
Exactly.
say you have $100,000.
Now, government policies can actually come all of a sudden and boom, you hear okay, Bitcoin is banned from certain areas. Bitcoin is banned from this. Bitcoin, but then it's very hard for you to see that in gold. Gold has stood the test of time, even before the advent of the internet. Gold has been existing, right? So why not choose long-term sustainability over something that is still trying to bring relevance, or is still trying to show relevance. So I'd rather stick to gold if I was holding so much. If I was holding so much, I'll stick to gold. But if I wanted something quick flips, I'll stick to Bitcoin. Bitcoin has more tendency of flipping on these prices, right? In a shorter period of time over gold.
Right on. Okay. Cool. I think that might be a good point to wrap it up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cyrus, let's have you to plug your social media so that people can find you.
Okay, so on X, I'm majorly active on X, right? My X is CYRUSOLOGUN, Cyrus Ologun, at Cyrus Ologun, right? That's my X. Then my TG, right? My TG community is at Cyrus the Creator, CYRUSTHECREATOR. So that's my TG community, right? So my X account has so many educational contents and my trade setups. I drop my trade setups on a daily basis, right? On a daily basis, crypto, forex, they always drop there.
So I've posted your X account in the Discord so that people can find you as well. And the winner of the $50,000 giveaway is going to be posted there as well. Okay. Thanks so much, Cyrus. Yeah, I think we have a new guest every week. Next week we're gonna have trades with
every week Tuesday. Yeah,
trades with Pat's coming.
We got next week.
Yeah. Trades with Pat. I'm super excited about that one. I've been trying to get him for 2 years.
Yeah,
finally agreed to come on. So cool. Thanks so much, Cyrus. Thanks so much, everyone. I'll see you guys next week. Ciao.
Thank you, James.
Yes, sir.